Cupcakes the size of a human head, burritos as big as a baby, and wings drenched in some of the spiciest sauce imaginable. For big eaters hoping to tackle these iconic man versus food challenges, you're sadly out of luck. It's not often that a challenger gets to actually select what they eat, but Lunchbox's Pick Your Poison challenge offered up 3 very different food items for Casey Webb to choose from. Would he guzzle down a massive 151-ounce milkshake, go for glory with an 8-pound Sloppy Joe, or take the fiery road with 6 Death Wish wings? Considering some of the easiest man versus food challenges saw both Adam Richman and Webb going the spicy route, it's no surprise he went for the latter.
Death Wish Wing Challenge!
Despite the excitement and creativity of having challengers pick their poison, Lunchbox is no longer open for business. The Staten Island restaurant closed permanently a couple years after Webb bested their Death Wish wings. Lulu's Bakery in San Antonio really took the whole "everything is bigger in Texas" saying to heart. It was one of the many Texas restaurants to boast big food with its massive 3-pound cinnamon roll. Plenty of big eaters like Casey Webb traveled here to take on the cinnamon roll challenge and down the gooey pastry in under 30 minutes. It was another food challenge that ultimately led to the bakery's downfall. Lulu's Bakery closed after a slew of bad press centered around the service they provided pro-eater Randy Santel. As the popular food blogger explained it, he called ahead to schedule a Texas Ranger Challenge attempt, only to be turned away when he arrived. Though he never meant for the bakery to take such a hit over the situation, Santel fans left negative reviews and comments all over the bakery's social media channels. They closed permanently not long after. The second season of Man vs. Food saw Adam Richman channel his inner Elvis at a retro-style diner for the Johnny Be Good Challenge. 1 plate of chili fries, another full plate of a chili-covered burger, and a 16-ounce milkshake made up the huge challenge. Richman defeated the 2 plates and shake and earned himself a t-shirt. Unfortunately, those hoping to nab themselves the same winner's shirt are out of luck. Rocky's Diner in Boise, Idaho closed up shop for good in 2020, claiming financial difficulties during the pandemic. They received an outpouring of positivity from former patrons saddened by the news, but the Johnny Be Good Challenge departed with Rocky's Diner. The majority of Man vs. Food challenges feature foods that would feed an entire family, but the Demon's Delight Challenge came in a much smaller package. The 10-piece sushi roll looked pretty standard apart from the hellish habanero sauce that coated its crown. It was paired with a side of death sauce, which was as hot as it sounds. The sushi was to be eaten after a bowl of miso soup that had participants practically breathing fire.
This is gonna be one hell of a time.
Casey Webb completely obliterated this fiery challenge, downing the bowl of lava in just a few seconds. Those looking to follow in the champion's footsteps, though, will come up quite short. Around a year after Man vs. Food featured this sushi joint, the owners announced they were retiring and that the restaurant would be closing. When we ranked Man vs. Food dessert challenges from best to worst, Kirby's Cupcakes secured a spot as one of the worst food challenges the show has devoured so far. The Goliath cupcake was massive, sure, but the creativity of the challenge and how it was crafted fell short. Apparently, we weren't the only ones who thought so, because the bakery has since closed its doors. Kirby's Cupcakes earned itself some solid press when it was featured on Man vs. Food for its 2.5-pound cupcake offering. This cupcake was basically the size of 22 regular cupcakes, which makes it a pretty colossal Man vs. Food food challenge. It's not just the novelty that added value to this challenge, but the fact that all cupcakes were made fresh daily. The cupcakes themselves were made in-house and were reportedly very tasty. Despite their ability to satisfy a sweet tooth and the exposure of the TV show, the bakery couldn't keep its doors open. There is no indication of what caused the shop to close down nearly a decade after its establishment, but those with a sweet tooth and a penchant for a food match will sadly have to look elsewhere. We love a creative plate, and that's just what Soda Hot and Cold in St. Paul, Minnesota offered up with its Holy Crêpe Challenge. 3 massive, freshly made crepes were completely loaded with 25 rolled ice creams, a few heaping helpings of fresh fruit, and a smorgasbord of toppings. This Man vs. Food dessert challenge was way too sweet for Webb, and he was unable to tackle it. Bad news for those hoping to best his performance, though, because the Holy Crêpe Challenge is no more. Though it regularly rolled out unique and interesting flavor combinations and customizable ice cream, the rolled ice cream and frozen yogurt shop is now permanently closed. Soda Hot and Cold's Instagram is still intact, and the shop's last post references the pandemic as the reason why it hasn't reopened. Soda's Facebook page is no longer active, and all signs point to it being gone for good. A lot of people find key lime pie to be utterly drool-worthy, and a 3.5-pound key lime pie would be downright irresistible. Well, pick your jaw up off the floor because this big hunk of key lime pie is not available for sale at the Fish House. In fact, it never really was. We called the Florida Keys restaurant to inquire about the challenge. There were no other documented challenge attempts nor any information on its website pertaining to it. The restaurant informed us that the challenge was actually created solely for Man vs. Food and has not been tried by anyone other than Casey Webb. Unlike a lot of the restaurants on this list, though, the Fish House is still very much open and can feed you. It does have the smaller, human-sized version of the key lime pie that is made with the same recipe of the supersized version. Have a slice or 5 to simulate your very own key lime pie challenge. If there's one place in the United States you can turn to in order to have a one-of-a-kind experience, it's Las Vegas. The Vegas Strip has seen so much change over the years, we're not really surprised that the oversized burrito featured on Man vs. Food is no longer there. Back in the second season, Adam Richman took on a 6-pound burrito at NASCAR Cafe. Richman was famously defeated by quite a few burrito challenges, and this behemoth certainly had him rolling out of Vegas without the glory of a win. Though he was once there among the losers, Richman's photo on the wall of shame is no more. NASCAR Cafe was located within Vegas's iconic Sahara Casino, which closed in 2011. The casino reopened a couple years later under a different name, but their food options changed. Though the Sahara's name was reinstated in 2019, the NASCAR Cafe remains permanently closed. The good news? There are plenty of other themed establishments all around Las Vegas. The bad news, however, is that this NASCAR hotspot seems to be lost to time. Its big badass burrito challenge gone along with it. Some of the other burrito challenges that did Richman in are still around, but you'll have to hop around the country to find them. Richman headed over to Philly for one of the city's signature dishes, a Philly cheesesteak, but one of gigantic proportions. Tony Luke's offered one tasty sandwich consisting of cheese, steak, and grilled onions. Richman downed the 5-pound sandwich with many compliments to the chef and was the first person to tackle the ultimate cheesesteak.
This stuff is so good that they don't want to stop eating. They're going to go through the pain, they're going to break through the wall.
There's a short list when it comes to winners, however, because the challenge wasn't a long-running one. The original Tony Luke's is now Tony and Nick's Steaks. Though the cheesesteak shop is still open under a different name, there is no mention anywhere on their site or socials that the challenge is still active. So we gave the shop a call, and an employee confirmed that there currently is no Ultimate Cheesesteak Challenge for big eaters to tackle. There's good news and bad news on this front. The bad news is that you're not going to be able to take on a 5-pounder like Richman once did. The good news, however, is that Tony and Nick's Steaks are slinging the same cheesesteaks as they did when the original Man vs. Food host undertook the challenge. That means those savory bites he was raving about could very well still be in your future. Game 7 Grill was located a short distance from the Arizona Diamondbacks Chase Stadium in Phoenix. The sports grill was home to one Major League Hot Wings challenge, which consisted of just 8 wings. The challenge here came into play with the sauce made from ghost and habanero peppers. Unlike most wing sauces, these hottest wings in baseball had a thick, dense sauce that seemed to stick to the mouth. Casey Webb is no stranger to challenges based on heat, but he did seem to have a little trouble with this one. Webb ate 7 wings but couldn't get past the heat to beat the 6-minute timer. Despite the exciting challenge and the killer view of the stadium, Game 7 Grill no longer exists, so challengers will have to look elsewhere to beat a Man vs. Food host's challenge attempt. The Phoenix staple closed down in 2021 along with another stadium bar. The 2 favorites were dismantled and renovated to make room for new food accommodations for Chase Stadium. Sadly, none of them have these deadly Scoville scale wings on their menus.